All right, so it's come out through the news this week that obviously there must be a stall, a major stall, in the Denny Hamlin contract situation. Now, that's created other rumors, such as a new OEM for the 2311 race team. And when those rumors started swirling, even more rumors started that maybe perhaps Stewart-Haas Racing was looking to sell a couple of charters. Now, I want it to be known right here that as long as Stewart-Haas Racing is under contract with Ford, they have to have their Ford staple team with Ford support, so they have to have 4 charters in order to maintain that. So if the situation is that Stewart-Haas is maybe looking to sell a couple of their charters, then you can obviously read between the lines and see that contract with Ford is probably going to expire. There is, guys, silly season's just begun. Denny Hamlin. Are we looking at the same situation this year that we seen with Kyle Busch last year? Remember, all year long, it kept being said, it's just complicated. It's complicated. Well, when you look over at your friend's Facebook and they have their marital status posted as complicated, you pretty much can read between the lines. Taz Taylor, I'm going to let you start this one. Is Denny Hamlin on the verge of possibly leaving JGR? And will he take his 2311 team somewhere else in manufacturing support?
I'm going to say if Denny Hamlin does not renew with JGR, Hamlin's switching manufacturers. The reason why I'm saying that is because I remember seeing, I think it was a press conference he did or an interview stating that a lot of his contract with JGR falls into a lot with 2311 Racing. And it's more so on the Toyota side versus the JGR side. If Hamlin can renew with JGR and Toyota, then he's good with 2311. Should he and Gibbs separate, chances are he may end up leaving Toyota, and it's looking like he can go on the Ford route. In terms of Stewart-Haas possibly selling 2 charters, that's news to me. I didn't hear anything about it till today, and I haven't really cycled my full thoughts through on that.
We'll hold up on the Stewart-Haas stuff here just a little bit. It was actually Lee Spencer that covered it through PRN, but like I said, that's more on the other side of the question, and we'll get to that here in just a second with the implications of basically the news that Denny Hamlin may be going to Ford. Miss Lee, I think you're ready.
Well, the $1 million question is, what's going to happen with FedEx? If Denny leaves JGR, will FedEx go with him, or will FedEx get out of racing? That's my takeaway.
As I've heard before, Denny said that he would stay with JGR and FedEx as long as FedEx wanted to be a part of it. We heard at the beginning of the year that FedEx was making some layoffs and it was possibly looking at a different business model. So this kind of, coincides with everything. As I said, it seems to be a repeat, page 2 of the Kurt Busch saga from last year. Who remember
or
had
even
a truck
Kyle
series
Busch
team that was
with
tied through JGR.
M&M Mars.
Right. And remember, he was tied in with his truck series team through JGR, through TRD. That's pretty big news on Denny Hamlin. Could possibly be leaving the 11 or JGR. I'm just, I do believe that they have gone to Ford to get leverage with Toyota. Of course, best way to get a raise is go get another job and say, hey, I'd really like to stay here, Sometimes that works. Other times they give you the do not pass go symbol. They send you on down the street and say you don't have to fill out your 2-week notice. That can happen too. And I feel like kind of in a way that's where Joe Gibbs Racing really seen this with Denny Hamlin. That Denny Hamlin was paving his way to leave JGR, and, in a way, it shouldn't be any bittersweet feelings or whatever because JGR has now decided to move on. I just don't think I'm ready to be there yet. This is actually, it's kind of crazy, the news that has come out. I mean, this was not something that I expected. Could it possibly just be a rouse to get all the signatures signed in the right areas? I guess so. But when you have another team like Stewart-Haas and the news comes out that they could possibly be selling some charters because they're no longer under contract with Ford, then that obviously means that Ford, the OEM, is out searching for its replacement of its next super team, right? The one thing that Ford wants to do is they want to keep as many cars in the stable as they can. And I know this sounds crazy and out there, but I wouldn't be surprised to know or see a merger or a corporation buy-in with possibly maybe a Junior Motorsports buying into Stewart-Haas Racing. I mean, hey, I got a fever right now, but I ain't so crazy as y'all think I am.
Well, but Junior's already talked about wanting to go cup racing. So, I mean, as far as team goes. So that's not so out there necessarily.
It definitely sounds like Stewart-Haas Racing is looking for some partners if they're really willing to advertise that they may be willing to sell 2 charters. Because, of course, those 2 charters would probably be Stewart's, right? The other 2 is held by none other than Gene Haas, who has all the money in the world.
And
why he would be the one trying to get out.
And Tony has obviously turned his attention to NHRA racing with him and Leah, so that makes sense.
Greg, you want to hit on this?
Yeah, I just think I that's the first I've heard about Ford, but that's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I don't know. I don't know if he'd want to leave. And going backwards for a second. You mentioned about FedEx. I think if FedEx leaves, you're definitely going to see Denny leave. Or if Denny decides to leave, FedEx might say, you know what? We're Team Denny. We're not Team JGR. And we're going to go where Denny goes. And I think if that happens, boy, the garage will be buzzing with excitement. I mean, I'm interested Craig, in Craig, I know it's been rare this year that you and I have been on the same page more than ever because we usually butt heads, but I am on agreement with you on that one, man.
Holy shit, Batman. Oh, sorry.
The reason why I say that is because of the fact that when we saw Hamlin run with SRX, I would have thought, just like Kyle Busch ran with the Florida Panthers, like I thought Kyle Busch would have brought in a sponsor of his own, and he didn't, which I was shocked. Hamlin comes in to run SRX, and who did he bring? He brought FedEx. So with Craig bringing that on, I'm glad you said that, Craig. We're on the same page.